The plan was always to roll the transfer, but my hand might have just been forced. Welcome to the Gianni Battici YouTube show. Hope you're all well and you're looking forward to Game Week 2. In today's video, though, it's all about early thoughts, my transfer plans for my team. Before we do that, guys, if you fancy hitting that like button, that'd be amazing. I'd love you to consider subscribing to the channel. And look, I'm going to be replying to all the comments on this video. So let me know your transfer dilemmas in the comments. Before we see my team, though, let's have a very quick look at some of the standout performers in terms of results and teams. I like to identify teams before players in terms of who's impressed me most early on in the season, especially. So what teams are functioning well, and then you look at players within those teams. So for me, Liverpool, Arsenal, Brighton, super impressive. City, as always, right? So those teams jump out. It was a good game week in general. We saw some goals. We saw a couple of clean sheets, though, that we perhaps didn't expect. In terms of my individual performance, it was really disappointing. But, guys, I hate to give you all the cliches, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. We got this 38 times. If you've had a subpar week, it's fine. You can make that up. There's so many points to be won in FPL. So, yeah, it was disappointing that my defense was, it's you know, Quansah and Henderson. But Trent and Hall got me clean sheets. In midfield, I would have loved a goal from a Gordon and Nkunku or a Son. Didn't get it. Jota, by the way, feels like one of the picks of the game. So happy I'm on him early. Isak, Haaland, Solanke, it's fine. It's not horrendous. It's not great. But I'm only like 10-ish points down on the field. Now, that's one decision. All pre-season, I spoke to you guys about wanting to back Son. Most went Saka. Saka got 12 points, Son got 2. It was a bad call game week 1, but I'm not gonna judge it on a game week. Like, I didn't buy Son for a game week. I will judge Saka versus Son in 3 weeks' time or in 2 weeks' time, and we've got a bit of a sample size. But to judge it off one game week feels naive. Now, Son's got a lot of catching up to do, and Saka's a very good asset, and we've always known that. But it's only 10 points down the field from that one decision. So look, let's think about how I need to improve this team. And the idea was always to try and roll transfers. But my hand's probably been forced because when we look at the points here, Quansah got a point. He came off at half-time. We know the quote from Arne Slot wasn't really digging Quansah out, although he was clearly annoyed on the bench, came off at half-time, and Konate came on. Konate came on to win more duels, right? That doesn't mean Quansah was bad. It means Liverpool needed someone with Konate's aerial threat. And you're not going to take Virgil van Dijk off at half-time. Now, against Brentford, on game week 2, you can see it 2 ways. You can go, Quansah's back in because they're going to have loads of the ball and he's the better passer and he's still first choice. Or you go, no, Quansah's now been dropped and Konate's physicality and aerial ability is needed because Brentford are also pretty useful up top in the air, especially if Tony was to play. At the moment, I'm probably 60-40. I think 60% it will be Konate, 40% Quansah. It's not, I don't think, worth a knee-jerk sell. We'll look at potential replacements in a sec. The other issue is Barco. I could bench Quansah and start Barco, but Barco also didn't feature. Now, he was named on the Brighton bench. It's fine because he didn't feature at all, and I wonder if that means there could be a muscle injury. We know he had a muscle injury a couple of weeks ago in pre-season. Maybe he was just fit enough for the bench and they didn't want to risk him. But Hinshelwood played left back and he played really well. Again, I'd say I'm like 70% likely Barco will be benched again against Man United and 30% hopeful he'll start. But I'm not going to make a transfer, I don't think, until I get to that point and know. And the key thing here, guys, the really key thing is we're very likely to know about Barco. And the reason we're going to know is Brighton are the early kickoff. So with Brighton being the early kickoff, team leaks. We will probably hear if Barco is in the 11 at around 10:30. The deadline, of course, is 11. If Barco doesn't make the 11, then I've got a problem. Because if Quansah's not going to make the 11, and we won't get a team leak on Quansah, he plays on the Sunday. So if there's no Barco, no Quansah, then my backline is relying on Johnson of Ipswich, who should start because they've got injury issues of their own. Now, I don't really want to play Johnson versus Man City away. Like, minus points are an option there. Hall and Trent, however, I look good. Henderson in goal looks good. My midfield looks great, and so does my front line. Like, I'm happy with my team, other than that one big dilemma at the back. So with that in mind, would I be selling a Barco? No, you wouldn't sell a Barco because who are you going to replace him with? What 4 million defenders are out there that you really would want to use a transfer on? I wouldn't suggest that. Like, you're going to go buy a Fass from Leicester. You're going to go buy a Harwood Bellis from Southampton. Maybe, and maybe they're fine options. But it's a 4 million defender move. That's mainly that guy's going to be a bench player. So look, maybe I keep calm and carry on with Quansah, or maybe my hand is forced and I make that move. If I do, I'm shopping for a 4.5 mid. So let's have a look at some options, shall we? This is my watch list. We'll look at some goalkeepers in a sec, but let's stick on that defender chat. I've got a couple of 4.5 million options on screen. I like them all for different reasons, right? Let's go through them one by one. Mazraoui looks like he might become first choice right back at United. When Luke Shaw is fit, though, Dalot can play right back, of course. That's his best position. Mazraoui played right back against Fulham. He got 2 bonus points and he won loads of his duels. He was really good. I think he won 6 of his 7 duels. So, tackles, interceptions, blocks, they're really good in the bonus point system. Mazraoui might be a pick. And the Man United fixtures aren't bad at all. And I wonder if they've turned a corner with the signing of De Ligt, with Lisandro Martinez fit, with Mazraoui in the team. That's not a bad back line. So, eyes on Man United. Lewis Dunk is another option. I've just been super impressed by Brighton in general, pre-season and game week 1. This manager, Hersler, has a reputation of clean sheets too. Dunk, we know, offers a bit of goal threat. 4.5 could be a steal. Now, this would be selling Quansah potentially to Rico Lewis, who, again, like Quansah, is a massive risk and a massive minutes risk. Now, he ain't going to play every week, but when he does play, Rico Lewis is hot property because he drifts into the midfield. He plays inverted, right? If Gvardiol's at left back and Lewis is at right back, Gvardiol tucks in and he's part of the back 3 in possession and Lewis is in midfield. Lewis had a goal disallowed at Stamford Bridge. He gets into really attacking spots, but Kyle Walker exists. Kyle Walker, often as the armband for Man City, will surely be back in at some point. Lewis feels like a transfer out waiting to happen at 4.5, but in the games you get him, you get a 4.5 million Man City defender with upside. That's pretty rare, isn't it? So he's certainly on my radar. And then I have Robinson of Fulham, who's got an amazing run of fixtures. He offers goal threat going forward. He plays 2 of the 3 newly promoted teams in the next 3. 2 of those games are at home in the next 3. Fulham are good. They're not great, but they're good. And he offers attacking upside. Probably Robinson's the standout pick. It's hard to know, and I'll make a call later in the week. My team selection video will be out on Friday, and I'll have their set in stone. If I sell Quansah, I'll be selling him to X. But at the moment, these 4 on the watch list. I do have a watch list for other positions. Not that I'm looking to make a transfer this week, but both Pope and Raya. Was the 4.5 goalkeeper option the right option? Let's see how good Henderson and Palace look in a couple of game weeks. Again, let's judge it after a bigger sample size. But if not, I'm happy to jump ship and go set and forget Pope, set and forget Raya, and find the money to do it. But I'm hopeful. The defensive data from last season suggests that Palace can be very good, and Palace were good last season. So if that's the case, maybe we can keep calm, carry on with Crystal Palace. Because, look, I think we have short memories in FPL, but I can't forget last season, the defensive data was strong. So when I look at the top 5 defences in the league last year, we see Arsenal, Man City and Liverpool here, but Everton and Crystal Palace rank really high. This is all from the Scout members area. Really cool info to get. And there's a link in the description if you want to check Scout out. But Palace ranked 5th for goals conceded, 4th for expected goals conceded, 4th for clean sheets. Palace are a well-functioning defence under Glasner. We just need them ideally to keep Mark Gahey. Let's see how that goes. But we need them to resort to type. And against Brentford, they didn't do that. But that as a free kick goes in, and it could have been a very different football game, or if it was given, should I say. So that's where we're at with goalkeepers and watch lists. Let's recap. Defenders, I might make a transfer. Goalkeepers, I'm not, but I've got the watch list. I've also got a watch list for a couple of midfielders. Now, Nkunku might become a problem. At the moment, I don't feel like Nkunku's a problem. And I know he's going to see rotation because of Chelsea's involvement in other competitions and Nkunku's injuries. So we shouldn't be shocked when we see Nkunku come off it just before the hour mark. But if I'm selling Nkunku at some point, these are the sorts of players I'm looking at in the same price band. And Burmo's fixtures are amazing from game week 6 onwards. Minter's going to be a real problem for a lot of teams. And Eze, he was the guy that I wanted most in this team. It was between Gordon and Eze, and I went Eze. I like them all. Not ready to pull the trigger on any of them yet. Likewise, all eyes on Havertz. And Ollie Watkins from game week 3 has the most obscene fixture run. Many of us will be trying to get to an Ollie Watkins. If that's the case, how do we do it? I'm not sure. Is an Isak sell on the cards? possibly. But Ollie Watkins should be on our radars too. So that's my watch list. In terms of other videos, guys, we are speaking to a former England player that you will all know. You may have had him in your FPL teams. He's going to be revealing his team selection with me on Thursday. On Wednesday before that, we've got my buyer's guide, a new series brought to you on this channel, which I'm super excited for. And on Friday, I'm going to be dropping my team selection as well. Guys, do hit that like button and please do consider subscribing to the channel if you're new around here. Final call to action from me. If you want more content and you like the idea of members-only videos and exclusive content, then check out my channel memberships. You can be a squad or an ultras tier if you want to join the WhatsApp group. As always, guys, thank you for supporting the channel with those likes, with those comments, and with those subscribes. And we'll see you tomorrow for another video. Bye-bye.